Hello and welcome all dear student in the 4th MST CET lecture of the topic Ionic Equilibria. This is a very important topic and this is first time we included in your syllabus. So first we have to take the revision. Due to some technical issues or problem in last Wednesday we don't have a very clear lecture. So we have to revise the point again which we have taken the live in the last Wednesday. In that we have started, or in this lecture we have started with the concept, or we revise the concept of pH and POH. So what is mean by pH and what is mean by POH? pH, which is equal to negative log to the base 10 H plus ion concentration. What is the definition of POH? POH, which is equal to negative log to the base 10 OH minus ion concentration. Then, what is the relation between pH and POH? pH plus POH equal to 14, and it is from the ionic product, that is the Kw, which is equal to H plus ion concentration into OH minus ion concentration, and they are having the value 1 into 10 raised to minus 14. We also have a Oswald dilution law for weak acid Ka, which is equal to alpha square into C, or Kb, which is equal to alpha square into C, where Ka and Kb are the acid and base dissociation constant. And from the Oswald dilution law, we have one important formula, that is H plus equal to OH minus, which is equal to alpha into C, or here H plus, which is equal to OH minus, which is equal to alpha into C, or alpha, which is equal to H plus upon C, or alpha, which is equal to OH minus upon C. Alpha, which is equal to H plus upon C, or alpha, which is equal to OH minus upon C. These are some formulae for revision. So, why we need to pH and POH? Due to ionization of water, our water is a very weak electrolyte, and a water which dissociated as H2O, which dissociated as H plus OH minus ions, and these H plus ions, they are again reacted with the water to form a hydronium ion, and therefore that we discuss in the regular lecture that the H plus ion is equal to the hydronium ion plus OH minus ion. H plus ions or OS minus ions. From the pH scale, we all know about the pH scale. In that pH scale, if the pH of the solution is 7, this is the pH scale, not the POH scale. Remember all, this is the pH scale. If the pH of the solution is 7, then at that time, what is the solution, or what is the type of a solution? It is a neutral. When pH is from 7 to 14, because pH scale started from 0 and ended with the 14. And if pH is from 7 to 14, then at that time a solution is basic. A solution is basic. And if a pH is from 0 to 7, if a solution having pH in the range 0 to 7, at that time the solution is acidic. Therefore, for the acidic solution, the pH which is in the range of 0 to 7. And what is the relation between pH and the H plus ion concentration? As here, as the pH increases or as the H plus ion concentration increases, the pH of that solution decreases and that solution is more acidic. Because according to the Arrhenius theory, a solution which contains more and more H plus ions in an aqueous solution is acid. And what is the relation between H plus ion concentration and the pH? We have to write here pH equal to negative log to the base 10 H plus ion concentration. Means the relation between H plus and pH are inverse. As the H plus ions increases, the pH of that solution decreases, and therefore decreases means it is decreased from 7 to 0, and at that time the solution it becomes more and more and more acidic. Reverse. As the H plus ion concentration decreases, as the H plus ion concentration decreases, that means the OH minus ion concentration increases. काय होते इथं बघा, as the H plus ion concentration decreases, the pH of that solution increases. And if the pH of the solution is in the range of these, because this is the pH scale, not a pH scale, but the concentration of H plus decreases, that means at the same time the concentration of OH minus increases. And therefore here, and therefore the pH increases, that is it is from 7 to 14. At that time, if the H plus ion concentration decreases, the OH minus ion concentration increases, and therefore the pH of that solution is in the range of 7 to 14. Is in the range of 7 to 14. But for that we not call it as a pH, we called it as a pOH, because here what happened, as the H plus ion concentration decreases, at the same time the concentration of OH minus ion increases, and it is measured in terms of a pOH. It is measured in terms of a pOH. These are some basic tricks. If pH is in the range of 0 to 7, the solution is acidic. If pH is in the range of 7 to 14, the solution is basic. And if the pH is exactly 7, pH is exactly 7 means what? At that time, the H plus ion concentration which is equal to OH minus ion concentration for a neutral solution. Neutral solution means what? The pH which is equal to pOH. pH which is equal to pOH. Okay, so these are some points we have to revise when or before we are going to start some MCQs. The MCQs are very important, and all are the numerical based MCQs. And how to solve that MCQs? Just in last lecture, online live lecture, we have started to discuss that MCQs. But due to some technical problem, we are not completed that MCQs. So let us revise first 4 or 5 MCQs and then discuss the next MCQs, which we are not discussing in the last online lecture. So what is the first MCQ? The first MCQ is the pH of 0.01 molar. The pH of 0.01 molar acetic acid is pH of 0. First MCQ, let's answer upon the pH of 0.01 molar acetic acid is. Here we have to calculate the pH of that solution, and therefore the pH of that solution is greater than 1. Why it is greater than 1? Because acetic acid is a weak acid. Acetic acid is a weak acid. It dissociates partially. Because the acid or the electrolyte which dissociate completely, they are called as strong electrolyte. That means only products are present. All the reactants, they are converted into product. But here the acetic acid is a weak electrolyte. That means out of this 0.01 molar acetic acid, a less than that acetic acid will be dissociated. If we take the concentration as 0.01, then the pH which is equal to negative log to the base 10 0.01 molar concentration, as it is an acetic acid CH3CO minus which dissociate partially into H plus plus acetate ion into H plus and the acetate ion. So here the pH which is equal to negative log to the base 0.01 negative. We have to take on the log of this term. But before we have to take on the log, in that we have to take on the characteristic first. What is the characteristic of this number? It is bar 2. Why it is bar 2? Because in 11th standard, we all know about the log and antilog of any number. How to take the log and antilog of any number. If it is a fraction, it is a decimal, it is a whole number and so on. So, what is the characteristic? How many 0 are present here? 2. And therefore it is in the fraction and the number of 0 which is equal to number of negative characteristic. This is also one trick to remember how we take the log of this term. So, bar 2 point. Then take a log of 1. But in the log table, we don't have to take the log of 1. Because in the log table, the logarithm are started from the 10. So, here we have considered a 1 0 after the 1 and therefore here we have to take in the log of 10. The log of 10 equal to 0 0 0 0 which is equal to here the log of this. Sorry, here we have given not a 0.01, we have given only 0.1 and therefore characteristic is bar 1, not a 0.01, only 1. So here then these 0 are now meaning, because here we have a point minus minus it becomes plus and therefore it is equal to 1. But why it is equal to 1? We have given a 4 options. The first one is less than 1, the second one is greater than 1, the third one is 1 and the fourth one is 7. आणि मग सगळे तुम्ही हा जो क्वेश्चन आहे त्याचा आन्सर काय टिक केला असतं, असं काढलं असतं आणि काय टिक केलं असतं सी. बट इट इज इनकरेक्ट. Why it is incorrect? The answer of this first question is B. And why it is B? Because it is a weak electrolyte. If it is a strong electrolyte, then a point 1 is all dissociated into its ions. But it is a weak and therefore the less than 0.1 will be dissociated. Less than means it is 0.001 or 0.00001. And if we taking the log of this term, then always it is greater than 1. Always it is greater than 1. And therefore the answer of this first number equation is B. So do you remember student how to calculate the answer of this question? It is a B. Then the next, a pH of pure water which dissociated as H plus and OH minus. आणि मग जर pure water आपण consider केलं तर in a pure water the H plus ions which is equal to the OH minus ions. The number of H plus ion which is equal to the number of OH minus ions, it is only at 25 degrees Celsius. And therefore the pH of this solution is, and therefore the pH of this solution is how many? For a neutral Neutrally means what? The number of H plus ions which is equal to the number of OH minus ions. It is equal to 7 because as we discussed earlier in the revision part, the pH of a neutral solution is equal to 7. Next, the third means the answer of this question is C. Then the third question. Third question is at any temperature for a neutral solution. Same. At any temperature, कुठल्याही टेम्परेचर साठी न्यूट्रल सोल्युशन साठी काय असतं? pH मोठा असतो, pH लहान असतो का means the H plus ion concentration is equal to H minus ion concentration. That means pH which is equal to pOH. न्यूट्रल सोल्युशन साठी काय असणार आहे? जेवढा त्याचा pH आहे तेवढाच त्याचा काय असणार आहे? pOH, because the H plus ion concentration and OH minus ion concentration are same. It is not equal to 7, but it is same. It is not equal to 7, but it is same. That means for a neutral solution, pH which is equal to pOH, because for a neutral solution, H plus ion concentration which is equal to OH minus ion concentration. वरच्या क्वेश्चन मध्ये वॉटरचं विचारलं होतं आपल्याला, म्हणून आपण काय म्हणत होतो? तो 7 होता. पण कुठल्याही सोल्युशन साठी तो 7 असेल का? नाही. मग त्याच्यात काय असतं? जेवढे H plus ion concentration तेवढेच काय असतात? OH minus ion concentration असतात. म्हणून त्या सोल्युशनचा pH आणि pOH हे काय असतात? त्या सोल्युशनचा इक्वल असतो. Then the answer of this question is also C. Next, the third question, fourth one question is the pH of ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide is a base. Ammonium hydroxide is a base, and we have to calculate the pH of the base. आता इथे आपल्याला काय विचारले? बेसचा pH विचारलाय. पहिल्याचा आन्सर काय होता आपलं? B, दुसऱ्याचं C, तिसऱ्याचं C. Now we are discussing the fourth one. The pH of ammonium hydroxide is having concentration 0.1 molar. Concentration किती आहे? 0.1 molar. आणि हे काय आहे? Ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide is a base. Ammonium hydroxide is a base. And it is a weak base. Base, but it is a weak base. And we have to give a concentration 0.1. And therefore, it is a weak, and therefore less than 0.1 will be dissociated. Because as we know, weak electrolyte, that means weak acid or weak base, which dissociate partially. Therefore, out of 0.1, not a 0.1, it will be dissociated. It will be dissociated less than. It will be dissociated less than 0.1. But if we calculate the pOH, विचारला आपल्याला pH, पण अमोनियम हायड्रॉक्साइड हा बेस आहे. मग आता काय करावं लागेल? पहिल्यांदा बेसचा काय काढतो आपण? pOH. By using this formula. By using this formula, pH plus pOH which is equal to pOH which is equal to negative log to the base 10 OH minus ion concentration. So, what is the OH minus ion concentration? Up to here we consider the 0.1. If it is a 0.1, then as we discussed in the first MCQ, then what is the log of this 0.1? Bar 1.000. Then what is the answer of this? Minus minus will become plus. So what is the pOH of this solution? 1. If it is dissociate completely, we have to take the concentration as a 0.1. First we have to calculate the pOH, and we have a relation pH plus pOH which is equal to 14, and therefore pH which is equal to 14 minus pOH which is equal to 1. pOH which is equal to 1, and therefore answer of the pH is 13. We have given option 14, less than 13, greater than 13, and 7. And 7. If the concentration is 0.1, means it dissociates completely, then the pH is 13. But this is the weak base. Remember, this is the weak base. Therefore, out of this 0.1, less than that 0.1 means 0.001 or 0.00001 are dissociated. And therefore, always the pH is greater than 13. A pH is less than 13. And therefore, the option B, that means a pH is less than 13 is correct. ठीक आहे. जर ते स्ट्रॉंग असतं तर त्याचा एक्झॅक्ट pH 13 असता. पण हे काय आहे, वीक आहे आणि त्याचा pH विचारलाय. पण जर त्याचा आहे ते डिसोसिएशन झालं तर उत्तर 13 येईल. पण आहे तेवढं होतंय का, कारण हा काय आहे वीक, म्हणून त्याचं डिसोसिएशन काय होते, कमी. मग कमी झालं म्हणजेच काय आहे इथं, dissociation is partially incompletely, therefore the answer will be B of the fourth. Then the fifth one, the pH of 0.02 molar sulfuric acid is, this is a very interesting question, the pH of 0.02 sulfuric acid is, sulfuric acid आणि कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन दिले आपल्याला, कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन आहे 0.002 आणि सल्फ्युरिक ऍसिड that means H2SO4. H2SO4 is a strong acid which dissociated as H plus and SO4 2 minus. If we balance this reaction, then here we have the 2H plus. If we balance, then we have here a 2H plus SO4 2 minus. What is the concentration of sulfuric acid? It is a strong, therefore all these are dissociated into its ions. We have to calculate the pH is equal to negative log to the base 10H plus ion concentration. But here sulfuric acid is a diprotic acid. Sulfuric acid is a diprotic acid. Therefore, we have to multiply the concentration term by 2. For a monoprotic acid, it is as it is. The concentration term is as it is. For a diprotic acid, we have to multiply it by 2. And for a triprotic acid, we have to multiply the concentration term by 3. Sulfuric acid is a diprotic acid. Sulfuric acid is a diprotic acid, and therefore we have to multiply this concentration by 2. Therefore minus log to the base 10 0.004. It becomes not a 0.02. It is 0.04. Then minus log to the base 10. What is the characteristic of this term? Bar 3 point. आता इथे एक नाही, आतापर्यंत एक होता म्हणून त्याचा लॉग काय येत होता 10 चा 0 मध्ये 000 सोपं होत होतं. आता थोडंसं अवघड सुरू झाले. मग काय आता इथं log 4. मग log 4 किती आहे इथे? log 4 which is equal to here. log 4 which is equal to, wait a minute, log 4 something here we have a 4060 log 4 and therefore here a log 4 which is equal to this. And how to solve this? How we have to solve this? What is the log of 4? A log of 4 means a log of 14 here. A log of 14 is 6021. It is equal to 6021. Then next here we can write minus. We have to take the log of this term, and here we have a minus. minus minus plus 3.6021 is the answer of this question. It is wrong. Then what we have to do here? What we have to do here? Then ऐका एकाच एक्झाम्पल मध्ये आपण बघूया म्हणजे पुढचे एक्झाम्पल आपल्याला सोडवता येतील फास्ट. इथं काय करावं लागेल आता आपल्याला? ही टर्म निगेटिव्ह आहे, हे निगेटिव्ह आणि हे निगेटिव्ह पॉझिटिव्ह होईल का? नाही. आता आपल्याला ही पूर्ण टर्म काय करून घ्यावी लागेल? निगेटिव्ह करून घ्यावी लागेल. आणि म्हणून आता आपल्याला इथं काय करावे लागेल? एक ऍडजस्टमेंट. मायनस साइन ऍज इट इज आउटसाइड द ब्रॅकेट. Here we have a bar 3 plus 1 minus 1 plus 0.6021. काय केलं इथं आपण? ह्या दोन संख्यांची 4 केली आणि त्याच्यात काय ऍड केलं? +1 -1. कशासाठी? फॉर आवर सिम्प्लिफिकेशन. For our simplification, that means we have to get the bracket whole negative, not only one number. Whole these number we want to get have a negative. Then that negative and this negative it becomes a positive. So therefore, म्हणून त्याच्यासाठी आपण एक ऍडजस्टमेंट केली +1 -1 ची. मग आपलं उत्तर किती आलं? -3 + 1 -2 -1 + 0.6021 plus minus having a sign of the bigger number, then 1.0000 minus 0.6021. 10 तून 1 गेला, कॅरी 9. Then it is equal to 0.3979. It is equal to 0.3979. Then it is equal to then minus minus it becomes plus. Therefore pH which is equal to minus as it is outside the bracket. Then if we add these two terms, then we have 3979. Now the whole bracket it become negative here. The whole bracket it becomes a negative here, and therefore this negative and this negative it becomes a positive, and the answer of is 3979. And therefore the correct option of this is B. The option B is correct for this 5th number question. How to calculate if the simple number is not given? We have to take the log and then we have to adjust. We have to make one adjustment in between these two numbers of the +1 and -1. When we calculate the pH from the H+ ion concentration, it is diprotic acid. Therefore, we multiply this by 2. Then after that, directly we don't have taken a log because only this term is negative. And here the bracket it becomes negative, and therefore this negative it becomes a positive. But after making an adjustment of +1 and a -1. So all of you remember these for solving the examples on these. Next, the next number, 6th number equation is here. The 6th number equation is the pH of a solution is 5. Therefore the OH minus ion concentration of the solution. आता काय दिलेलं आपल्याला 6 नंबरच्या क्वेश्चन मध्ये pH दिलाय. 6 नंबरच्या क्वेश्चन मध्ये काय दिलेलं आपल्याला pH. मग त्या सोल्युशनचा pH किती आहे? The pH of solution is 5 and we have to ask the OH minus ion concentration. Then how to solve? We know the relation between pH and pOH. pH plus pOH which is equal to 14, and therefore pOH which is equal to 14 minus pH, 14 minus 5, because we have given the value of pH as a 5, and therefore pOH which is equal to 9. pH which is here the pOH which is equal to 9, but we have to ask the OH minus ion concentration. आपल्याला काय विचारलं इथं? आता pOH माहित झाला, तो किती आला? 9. आता आपल्याला काय काढायचे? OH minus ion concentration. and for that we have a formula POH, which is equal to negative log to the base 10 OH minus concentration, and therefore the OH minus ion concentration, which is equal to antilog of minus POH. POH नाही काढायचा, POH दिलेला आहे आपल्याला, OH काढायचा आहे, म्हणून आपण काय केलं, दोन्ही बाजूला अँटीलॉगने मल्टिप्लाय केलं, कारण लॉग घालवायचा आहे, फक्त एवढं ठेवायचं आपल्याला. मग लॉग घालवण्यासाठी दोन्ही बाजूला काय केलं आपण, काय केलं इथं अँटीलॉगने मल्टिप्लाय, लॉग अँटीलॉग रेसिप्रोकल कॅन्सल, मग OH राहिलं, मायनस साइन तिकडे आलं, पण ह्याचा काय आला आता अँटीलॉग, and therefore here the OH minus ion concentration, which is equal to antilog of minus 9, antilog of minus 9. Then how to take the antilog of minus 9? 9th antilog, antilog घेताना आपण काय करणार इथं, what is the antilog of the minus 9 here? Antilog of minus 9 म्हणजेच आता ही एक सिंपल टर्म आहे आणि म्हणून ह्याचा अँटीलॉग घेताना -9 मध्ये तिथं काय असतं 1 into 9. ओके, therefore it is into 10 raised to -9. Antilog of -9 means here 1 into 10 raised to हे -9 पॉइंट इथं 0 आहे, 0 plus 1 म्हणजे एका संख्येनंतर पॉइंट असतो, 1 into 10 raised to -9, antilog of -9, which is equal to 1 into 10 raised to -9 here molar, and therefore the answer of this question is B. Answer of this question is B. Next, इथे आपल्याला काय करायचंय नंतर, next the pH of an aqueous solution containing 0.49 gram of H2SO4 in 1 liter is. आता या एक्झाम्पल मध्ये आपल्याला काय करायचंय, pH काढायचा आहे, कुठल्या सोल्युशनचा, H2SO4 चा, आणि त्याच किती ग्रॅम म्हणजे त्याचं वेट दिलेलं आहे आपल्याला. 7 नंबरचं थोडंसं समजून घ्या. 7 नंबरचं एक्झाम्पल काय आहे आपल्याला इथं, the pH of an aqueous solution containing 0.49 H2SO4 ग्रॅम, आणि H2SO4 चं मोलिक्युलर वेट किती आहे 98 ग्रॅम. हे आहे त्याचं मोलिक्युलर वेट, आणि वेट किती दिलेले आहे त्याचं 0.49 ग्रॅम, प्रेझेंट इन how many liter? It is present in 1 liter, and we have to calculate the pH of that H2SO4. मग pH काढण्यासाठी पहिल्यांदा आपल्याला काय काढावं लागेल, कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन ऑफ H+. पण मग कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन म्हणजेच काय, नंबर ऑफ मोल्स अपॉन V. कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन म्हणजेच काय, नंबर ऑफ मोल्स अपॉन V. मग नंबर ऑफ मोल्स म्हणजे काय, number of moles म्हणजेच n means weight upon molecular weight. What is the given weight and what is the molecular weight? 98. कसं सोडवायचं ते बघा. pH काढण्यासाठी आपल्याला H+ आयन कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन पाहिजे, पण H+ आयन कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन म्हणजेच काय, म्हणजे कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन म्हणजेच काय, नंबर ऑफ मोल्स अपॉन V. बट नंबर ऑफ मोल्स आर कॅल्क्युलेटेड बाय यूजिंग फॉर्म्युला वेट अपॉन मॉलिक्युलर वेट. Weight is 0.49 and a molecular weight is here 98. 0.49 divided by 98. 0.49 divided by 98. It will become 0.005. Answer of this is 0.005. Is equal to 0.005. Therefore, concentration कोणाचं H2SO4. H2SO4 which dissociated completely into H+ and SO4 2 minus. H+ and SO4 2 minus. Concentration means 0.5 divided by. Concentration means the number of moles present in 1 decimeter cube or 1 liter volume of a solution. 1 decimeter cube or 1 liter volume of a solution. So volume of the solution is given, it is 1 liter, and therefore the concentration of H plus is 0.005. Concentration which is equal to 0.005. But we don't have taken as 0.005 because it is a diprotic acid. So we have to multiply it by 2. Then it becomes 0.01. It becomes 0.01. Now we have to calculate the pH. Negative log to the base 10 H plus ion concentration. Negative log of 0.01, which is equal to bar 2.00, which is equal to here bar 2.00. Then bar 2 means it becomes the pH of the solution, which is equal to minus minus plus, means it becomes 2. It is equal to 2, and therefore the pH of the solution is equal to 2. Then what is the correct option for this question? Therefore the pH of the solution is 2, means the option A is correct for this 7 number question. In that we have to calculate the pH of the solution, but directly the concentration of H plus ion is not given. Here we have given a molecule, the molecular weight of that molecule and the number of moles. Firstly we have to calculate the number of moles, and from the formula of concentration which is equal to number of moles upon V. That means the number of moles of solute present in V decimeter cube volume of a solution. So the pH of this solution is 2. Remember, आता लक्षात सगळ्यांच्या कसं सोडवायचे हे ते, म्हणजे असे वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे MCQs याच्यावरती विचारू शकतात. आपल्याला प्रत्येक प्रकारचा MCQ या सब टॉपिक वरती सोडवता आला पाहिजे. Next, same as that of the question number 5, the pH of the 0.005 molar H2SO4. आत्ताच आपण बघितलं H2SO4 means 0.005. It is multiplied by 2. H2SO4 is a diaprotic acid आणि त्याचा pH आत्ताच आपण काढला. किती आला होता तो वरच्या एक्झाम्पल मध्ये 2. म्हणून 8 नंबरचा जो क्वेश्चन आहे त्याचा आन्सर काय आहे? B. Sorry, त्याचा आन्सर काय आहे? C. The pH of this solution is 2. Next, a pH of 1 millimolar HCl. आता इथं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन आपल्याला कशामध्ये दिलेलं आहे? वर्ड मध्ये दिलेलं आहे. कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन कशात दिलेलं आहे आपल्याला? वर्ड मध्ये. Millimolar means the concentration which is equal to 0.001. Milli means 10 raised to minus 3. Deci 10 raised to minus 1. Semi 0.5. A molar 1. A semimolar half. A centimolar 0.01. Therefore, for a millimolar it is equal to 0.001. The pH HCl is a strong electrolyte. H plus plus Cl minus. Therefore, pH is equal to negative log to the base 10 0.001, which is equal to negative, the log of the term is 3, which is equal to 3. Therefore, the pH, because 3 point, it is equal to 4 times 0, minus minus plus. This is a very simple. For a millimolar, the pH of the solution is 3, and therefore the answer of the 9 number question is option C. Option C is correct for that number. Then next, same that type of example is given for you. Okay. Then the next example is here degree of dissociation of, if the degree of dissociation of an acid, degree of dissociation means a Ka. Degree of dissociation of an acid means here we have given a Ka. The degree of dissociation of concentration is 0.01 and K is given as 10 raised to minus 3. Then what is its pH? So here for the pH, what is the formula of pH? pH, which is equal to negative log to the base 10 H plus ion concentration, and therefore if the degree of dissociation of 0.01 molar weak acid solution is 10 raised to minus 3 alpha, सॉरी के नाही, आपल्याला काय दिलेलं आहे, अल्फा आणि कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन दिले, त्याच्यावरून पहिल्यांदा काय काढावं लागेल, H plus. Then as we know, H plus or OH minus, which is equal to alpha into C, which is equal to alpha into C. That means 10 raised to minus 3 into 0.01. It becomes minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 2. That means 10 raised to minus 5. 10 raised to minus 5. And 10 raised to minus 5 means here 10 raised to minus 5, which is equal to 0. Here we have a 0.10 raised to minus 5 means 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times 0 and 1, and therefore here we have to calculate the pOH, not the pH. But from this concentration, here H plus or OH minus, here H plus or OH minus, which is equal to alpha into C. Therefore the OH minus ion concentration, which is equal to this one is, and therefore pOH, which is equal to negative log to the base 10 0.0001, and therefore negative. What is the characteristic? What is the characteristic of this? Which is equal to 0 bar 5.0000. Then what is the pH of this solution? Then this is an acid. So firstly here we have to calculate the H plus ion. We have to calculate the H plus ion, and therefore the pH of the solution here, which is equal to 5, because we have given an acid, and therefore firstly we have to calculate the pH of this solution, which is equal to 5. But in this example we have to calculate the pOH from the relation pH plus pOH is equal to 14, and therefore pOH, which is equal to 14 minus 5, which is equal to 9, which is equal to 9, and therefore for the 10th number question, the option 9, that means the option D is correct. The option D is correct. म्हणजेच आता तुमच्या सगळ्यांच्या लक्षात आला असेल की जेव्हा आपल्याला pH, pOH किंवा डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन किंवा डिसोसिएशन कॉन्स्टंट याच्यावरून जर काही MCQs सॉल्व करायचे असतील तर आपल्याला काही गोष्टी लक्षात ठेवाव्या लागणार आहेत. साधं सोपं, फॉर मोनोप्रोटिक ऍसिड we take to concentration as it is. For diprotic acid we have to multiply it by 2. For triprotic acid we have to multiply it by 3. If we have given the H plus ion concentration, from that we have to calculate the pH, and from the pH we have to calculate the pOH by using the relation pH plus pOH, which is equal to 14. Okay, so here we have completed the 10th example. We have completed the 10th example. Next, the 11th one. pH दिलेला आहे आणि आपल्याला काय काढायचं आहे, आयोनायझेशन कॉन्स्टंट. मग pH which is equal to 3 and therefore आता तिथं pH दिलेला आहे 3, त्याच्यावर तुम्ही काय काढणार आहे, H plus ion concentration. H plus ion concentration which is equal to alpha into C. H plus ion concentration वरून तुम्ही काय काढणार आहे, alpha. H because H plus ion concentration is equal to alpha into C and therefore alpha which is equal to H plus upon C. पण alpha पण नाही विचारलेला आपल्याला, म्हणून आपल्याला काय विचारलंय, K which is equal to alpha square into C. पहिल्यांदा pH वरून H plus काढायचं, H plus वरून alpha into C, मग त्याच्यावरून alpha काढायचा आणि alpha वरून acid dissociation constant ची व्हॅल्यू काढायची. This is your for homework question and this is the 11th number question and they are having your option C. Then next 12th number, which one of the following have a highest pH? We have given a 4 salt, KCl, NaCl, Na2CO3 and copper sulfate. All these 4 salt, in that 4 salt, the ammonium carbonate is a salt of weak acid and a strong base. Is a salt of weak acid and a strong base. Produces a basic solution which a pH greater than 7. Because all these salt they are derived from their parent acid and base. मग प्रत्येकाचे parent acid and base काढायचे. मग त्याच्यातला जो अमोनियम कार्बोनेट आहे, अमोनियम कार्बोनेट इट इज फॉर्मड फ्रॉम द, ते कशापासून बनलेले सांगा, अमोनियम सोडियम कार्बोनेट हा सोडियम हायड्रॉक्साइड म्हणजे NaOH which is a strong base and carbonic acid which is a weak acid. ज्याचा बेस स्ट्रॉंग आहे म्हणजेच त्याचा pH काय आहे, ग्रेटर आहे. म्हणूनच द आन्सर ऑफ द 12th नंबर क्वेश्चन इज C. Then the 13th number question, calculate the pH of the solution that contains the hydronium ion. Same आतापर्यंत आपण डिस्कस केलेले, हायड्रोनियम आयन इज इक्वल टू द हायड्रोजन आयन. म्हणजे आपल्याला हायड्रोजन आयन कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन दिलंय. इथं 13 नंबरच्या एक्झाम्पल मध्ये आपल्याला काय दिलेलं आहे, इथं हायड्रोजन आयन कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन दिलेलं आहे. व्हॅल्यू इज गिवन. From that we have to calculate the pH and from the relation pH plus pOH is equal to 14 we have to calculate the pOH of that solution. H plus वरून pH काढायचा आणि मग ती व्हॅल्यू ठेवली की मग pOH which is equal to 14 minus pH and the correct option for this 13 number question is option A. You have to solve these from our today's lecture. जे काय आतापर्यंत आपण बघितले त्याच्यावरून हे राहिलेले 2-4 एक्झाम्पल आहेत ते तुमच्या होमवर्क साठी आहेत. सेपरेट असाइनमेंट आपण दिलेली नाही, कारण एक्झाम्पल रिलेटेड जो काही आपले जे काही लेक्चर आहेत त्याला आपल्याला खूप वेळ लागतो, म्हणून असाइनमेंट विथ MCQs आपण एकत्रच ऍड केलेले आहेत. नेक्स्ट 14, द pH व्हॅल्यू ऑफ N/10 NaOH सोल्युशन. NaOH इज अ बेस. आता बेसचा pH विचारलाय, N/10 म्हणजेच 1/10 नॉर्मल. नॉर्मलिटी and molarity are same here and therefore concentration which is equal to 0.1. Here we have given the OH minus concentration because we have given a base, and from the OH minus concentration we have to calculate the pOH, and from pH plus pOH is equal to 14 we have to calculate the pH. As simple as, and the answer of this question is 13. That means B. And the last one question is the pH value of 10 molar HCl is. सगळ्यात सोपा क्वेश्चन आहे. 10 मोलर त्याची कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक काय येणार आहे, 1. म्हणजे त्या सोल्युशनचा जो काही pH आहे it is always equal to 1. It is always equal to 1 because HCl a strong acid which dissociated into H plus and Cl minus ion. आणि मग त्याचा pH आपल्याला विचारला आणि मोलॅरिटी किती दिली आहे 10 मोलर. मग 10 मोलर म्हणजे त्याची कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक किती येणार आहे 1. म्हणून जर 10 मोलर HCl सोल्युशन असेल तर त्याचा pH हा काय असणार आहे इट इज ऑलवेज 1. So the correct option is option A. So dear student, in today's lecture here we have solved this example MCQs which are based on the revised part. That means on the pH, pOH, pH plus pOH, the relation between alpha and H plus and OH minus ion concentration. So this is our 4th MST lecture and it is a very important lecture. So the number of questions given for your homework, you have to solve it correctly. I have given you answer of the question. So dear student, we will meet in the next Wednesday. Till then, thank you.